is Slashers, your new favorite podcast or old favorite podcast, depending on how, when you started listening to us. On all things horror media. My name is Ade, and today I have with me my boo-boo Mikey. We are missing Lance today because he is still happily in California. And of course, he didn't think ahead to bring his microphone and headphones and laptop with him on his fateful trip so that he could record with us today. It's just us. It's the Ghoul Friends. It's a Ghoul
Return
Friends
of the Ghoul
episode.
Friends.
Return of the Ghoul Friends. So my boo-boo, say hello to the mutant goons from beyond.
Hello, Mutant Goons from Beyond. We are back from California, but we'll probably do a deeper dive when Lance is back, because who knows what he's doing out there right now.
I think he's babysitting, so probably not that
Oh,
glamorous.
the
So
flossy.
for our last of August entry, we decided to start off with Alien Covenant. Why? Because if we wait too long, then Alien Romulus will have come out and we won't be able to do it. Although I'm actually really excited about Alien Romulus. Mikey, I don't know how you feel about it, but I think it's going to be a really good installment.
Yeah, I'm really excited because, first of all, it's F Alvarez, and if y'all aren't familiar, he did the 2013 remake of Evil Dead, so I feel like we're in good hands. Everything that I've read about it is pretty promising. My only question and curiosity is because are you familiar with the story of Romulus and Remus?
I am not now.
Okay, so I only know it because I took Latin in high school, and it's
Mm.
one of the first stories that they tell you. But basically, it's Roman mythology, and it's twin brothers who are basically born, and after they're raised by a mother wolf, and they essentially, after events, are lead to the founding of Rome and how Rome started. So I don't remember too much of the story. I just kind of remember that aspect of it. I just my Latin teacher hated me, and I hated the way she said Romulus and Remus.
Oh my
So that's
God.
why it stuck with me. So I'm wondering because to me, Remus or Romulus indicates the beginning of something. And so I'm kind of wondering when this one's going to take place. Does it take place in between Covenant and Alien 1 or what?
Well, I'm glad you asked that question, Mikey, because I went through today to get the chronological order of the entire Alien franchise. And this not only includes Prometheus and Alien Covenant, obviously, but also it includes Romulus as well as Alien versus Predator, both parts.
Hmm.
Because, when we talk about Alien, like I think the whole Alien versus Predator is on the same I'd say wavelength is Freddy versus Jason when it comes to like mishmashing two amazing, horror icons. And these are obviously the more supernatural, well, not supernatural. I guess
Monstrous ones.
they're otherworldly, right? Because
Well,
they're
is it
both from
Predator's the
space.
Alien too, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so they're both from
Oh,
different
you mean
planets.
both of them? I thought they
Yeah.
meant Alien specifically. Gotcha.
Yeah, so they're both, I guess they're both kinds of alien and, the predator in another way too. So, and they're both, even though alien, the xenomorph is an alien, we call it alien, but the xenomorph is also a predator in its own right. So to watch these two vicious characters, go head to head, I think was a really great concept. I don't know how you feel about those two, but really quickly, we're going to go ahead and Romulus. So this is how the what did I do with my notes? Oh, sorry. I switched tabs by mistake. So it starts off Alien Covenant with respect to Alien, the very first Alien. So Alien Covenant takes place 18 years before Alien and 11 years after Prometheus, and then Romulus. So I know, I don't think I said that correctly, but the Alien films in order. So we have Alien versus Predator. We have Alien versus Predator Requiem. And I think it's also important to go over Alien versus Predator came out in 2004. Requiem came out 3 years later in 2007, but it technically came before, you
Yeah,
know,
that's the confusing part
yeah.
because I think the biggest thing is remembering when Alien 1 happened,
So
which I don't know, but it was in the future.
yeah, it's in the future. And technically it's the sixth because then we have Prometheus. So this brings back Prometheus. Is actually brings back Ridley Scott as a director for this franchise because he initially only did the 1979 film, and then he came back in 2012 to do Prometheus, and then Alien Covenant in 2017. So 5 years later, we have the second one because this initially was supposed to be a trilogy before Alien.
Alien.
And so then we have Alien Covenant after Prometheus. Then we have Alien Covenant. And then Alien Romulus is supposed to be sometime in between Covenant and Alien. So I don't know if Romulus is standalone. From what I've researched, it technically is standalone. So it's not going to pick up with the story from Prometheus or Alien Covenant. So I think we're done with that. Sure. So if you're watching the YouTube version, the picture of Daniel's character is behind Mikey. She looks very Sigourney in that photo. So, the only thing they didn't do is put her in underwear, but did they put her in underwear?
No.
No. Okay. So no underwear, but there is some, there is a very, and I'm trying to remember if I don't think it's in Alien or Aliens, according to Mikey from last episode. Maybe Alien 3, I think, has a little bit of sex in it, but I don't remember this such a visceral sex scene in an Alien film until this point.
I was gonna actually, I made a note. I could be wrong because Alien 3 I tried to erase from my memory, but also I haven't really seen the other ones too much. But this might be the only Alien with a shower scene, the typical horror movie shower scene.
Oh, I think there
I
might
know
be
they
one in
take
Alien 3.
showers. They take showers together, not in like a sexual way, I think, unless I'm getting it confused with the
I think
the
you're,
one with the
yeah.
big bugs. But there might be like a communal shower scene, but this is like the actual like death in the shower while naked.
Yeah, and that was actually, I think of all the deaths in the film, that might, to me, might be the worst because just the xenomorph tail coming under the shower and going up her legs. I'm like, ah. So
That was probably, we'll get into it later, but that was probably the scariest scene because it was so classic horror movie. Like you kind of forget you're in a spaceship and that it's alien and it turns into just like a monster in the shower. And I loved that. Yeah. It's like these guys are smart. You have to be really smart to make a movie, especially a movie like Alien. And it's just like Alien versus Predator did not tank because of your xenomorph. It tanked because it was PG-13. And like it's I don't know. I also am questioning maybe Ridley Scott just kind of lucked out with Alien because there's mistakes in Prometheus and Covenant that I'm like I would be excited if I knew, oh, Ridley Scott's gonna come back for another Alien, and then I saw these and I'm like, maybe Alien was a fluke. Maybe he had a ghostwriter like Steven Spielberg.
When you look at Prometheus, both Prometheus and Covenant, we have the engineers, we have the xenomorphs, we have the droids, the AI. Like, there's just so much going on that it's really hard at times because when he's doing that flashback in Covenant and they drop the pathogen onto the engineers and they're all dying. When did he do that? When did that happen?
Yeah,
I'm so
it was
confused.
I stopped trying to think about it because I was like, this is a lot. And the engineers aren't hot anymore, so I don't care. But also when I found out that like it all starts with a spore, I was like, oh, I don't know how I feel about that. That seems very last minute. How do you make this? What's the origin? A spore. So like are xenomorphs mushrooms? I don't know.
And I know that it is a running theme with these alien films that nobody wants to listen to the woman. Fair, because it's true.
Fair. Hmm.
However,
Understandable.
it's not just a couple of people, but literally everybody in this goddamn movie makes a horrible decision. Like, I don't think that the people, especially in Alien, um, Tom Skerritt should have listened to Sigourney Weaver. Like, should have listened to her, right?
Yeah.
And he was the captain. He had, full whatever to make sure that the fucking thing didn't get on the ship, and he doesn't listen to her. But I think that everybody else is a victim because of his poor choice. I don't think they really made too many poor choices. This film, this one, my God. So before we get into that, I just want to do a quick recapitation. So if you don't know what the hell this movie is even about, it's basically the crew of a colony ship bound for a remote planet discover an uncharted paradise with a threat beyond their imagination and must attempt a harrowing escape.
Mm.
All led by James Franco, by the way. Fun fact.
Yeah, in a shadow type of way. But I think there's a difference between bad judgment and stupidity. Alien had bad judgment. Prometheus and Covenant had stupidity, which is almost like an unforgivable sin. And that
Mm-hmm.
was what I was discussing earlier. We have stupid people in every scary movie, but these are scientists. These are astronauts. In Prometheus, Homegirl should have ran to the side of that stupid thing that was rolling towards her.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone, when she got ran over, everyone was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And then, what's his name? Madonna's ex, um,
Guy Fawkes, who
Guy
is it?
Pearce.
Guy Pearce? Is he? No, is Guy Pearce her ex?
I thought so. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm not here
No,
to
I
spread
thought it was.
rumors.
I thought it was the other one. Doesn't matter. Anyways, yeah, who was married
Um,
to Madonna? Doesn't matter.
Madonna's ex
It's Guy
Guy.
Fawkes.
Oh, it's Guy Ritchie, not Guy
Okay,
Pearce.
Richie.
Whatever. Anyways, when they go in Prometheus onto whatever they find those little plants that bite you, he picks it up. I'm like, no, like you're a scientist, you know, not to just. And that's what was annoying me because here you had astronauts that are scientists that are supposed to be highly educated, unless in the future they just don't fucking care. Maybe Donald Trump does win this next election, who knows? And so, like, it's like a scientist would not do that. You basically have physical scientists with the mentality of like college kids on a spaceship.
So what happens is the dumb security people keep stepping on these spores or poking them, and then the spores get in their
Yeah.
system. So instead of a face hugger, I mean, we do have face huggers in this film, but our first look at an alien, or the neomorph is what it's called. And this is just notes I'm looking at, people. So if you think I got the name wrong, then you can go ahead and scream at me in the comments. But this is what I was reading today. That the neo, because I didn't realize they had a different name, but they look like xenomorphs, but they're not really xenomorphs. So they're neomorphs. But like the spores get into their system and basically shoot out of them,
Yeah.
which was pretty nasty. Like the scene behind me with his back. Oh, that guy was cute too. The scene the scene behind me.
Oh, I know. The hottest one. Like, okay, well,
Yeah,
there he goes too.
I
You
know.
took away my Latina, now you're taking away the hot guy.
I know,
And
but go ahead.
we didn't know, but they killed the gay couple, which
Yeah.
I didn't realize was a gay couple. But don't let my sourpuss attitude make y'all think that I didn't like it. I did. It's just let's cut some stuff out and let's just be a fun movie. Not everything has to be an epic, like blockbuster. Like I just want to have fun.
It didn't need to be as serious as it was, because I think if they had cut out a lot of that bullshit and maybe less about the engineers and whatnot, then I think this may have done. Now, for me, its biggest detriment, besides focusing on shit we don't care about, is the fucking awful CGI, neomorphs and xenomorphs. And I
Yeah,
remember I even said it out loud. I watched it when one of the xenomorphs fell through like a hole or something. I'm like, fucking CGI, fucking xenomorph. Like, I was just so mad because it looks bad. Like,
yeah,
I we don't need that. The one thing about xenomorphs and almost all of the films I can say from what I remember, because the Alien versus Predators, I've seen them, but I don't remember anything about them. Um, they like the xenomorphs are always practical, and to watch them be this monstrosity of CGI is just so, like, it's the only time I think it's really practical is the shower scene.
yeah. And it was like my favorite part. The
Yeah.
shower scene, and also the girl who was, I don't know who she was, but she died by herself when she was had the Star of David
Oh,
on.
Rosenthal.
Sure.
That's her name.
That was a good death too. Uh so
Oh,
there
it
was
was
like
so
a lot of
scary.
pretty good deaths when it got very one-on-one, even like
Mhm.
reminiscent of like a regular alien movie. But I just it's like they want to make an alien movie for Marvel, and I don't need it. And funny enough, everyone hates it, but I really love Alien Resurrection. And when you're talking about CGI aliens, I think they may have done some CGI because they swim in Resurrection. And then I think in Romulus, I've seen that aliens are going to be swimming again. Because I always thought that was super creepy that they were swimming like really good. Uh,
Yeah, because they have this like thing, and
like a lizard.
yeah, and I love Resurrection. Now, but granted, I haven't seen it in quite some time, but I used to watch a lot as a kid because it was like the only one that was on TV, and Winona
Yeah.
Ryder was in it, right? So,
Hello.
hello, and
Yeah.
and I think that's why we had such a long stint, because even if you're looking at Alien versus Predator, the first one comes out in 2004, and then 2007's Alien versus Predator Requiem, which is 10 years after Resurrection. And then Covenant comes 20 years after that. So it's like we're just waiting. Like
Yeah.
we're just waiting for a good. So that's why I think, I'm glad that we talked about this one because Romulus is coming up, everybody. And I really think that Romulus, I mean, judging by the trailers alone, and the fact that
Yeah.
everything's practical effects, and Fede has said like he wanted everything to be practical. And if you adore, which I do. I love the 2013 reboot of Evil Dead, as well as what's the one with the blind guy?
Don't breathe.
Don't Breathe. If you love though, Don't Breathe was very good and scary. Like it's generally scary and you genuinely care about the characters. Like he has this way of just dealing with things, which is why I was very sad that he had nothing to do with um Evil Dead Rise, because I think that it
Yeah.
could have benefited from him as well, but whatever. Go ahead and keep finding all these random ass people for those movies. So anyway, so this was your first watch. So would you say you liked it or was it meh?
Yeah. No, I liked it. I think it's funny because I feel like, and keep in mind, this is Prometheus technically is 2 films away from this.
Mhm.
But just in terms of how long it's been since Prometheus, I feel like we're inching towards what I want. So, like, I feel like we had to have this one to leave that Prometheus aftertaste behind and get back on. Romulus is probably the spaceship, just based on how they name these things. So,